If you've been following along with my YouTube shorts, you'd know that I'm hunting the shiny 3-segment Dunsparce. That's not going particularly well right now, but we're working on it. You would also know that I love hunting in what I have called the Cove of Dunsparce, as it's almost impossible to fail a shiny Dunsparce here and you will very consistently get you your shiny Dunsparce. However, there are still a few ways to fail a shiny here, one of those being failing to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, a shiny Dunsparce will just disappear right in front of you, so best make sure you're subscribed. But as an advocate for the Cove, I've been working to reduce the risk of failing a shiny here to 0. And in my pursuit of this goal to avoid sticky situations with Dunsparce, I'd find myself in a stickier situation. Join me as I take you through this journey of making the Cove of Dunsparce a completely risk-free shiny hunting location, as well as how I nearly failed a shiny Pokemon in the pursuit of this forbidden knowledge. This is Conquering the Cove. So, to get to the Cove in the first place, you need to go to Research Station 4 in Area 0. Head right and follow the path up until the center bridge. From here, you go to the back right of the center platform and glide into the Cove. Due to Dunsparce's running away mechanic, you can despawn them inside of the Cove, allowing for new ones to spawn. It's a very chill shiny hunting area, seeing as you can't accidentally despawn them by going too far away. But with that said, there are still 3 ways to fail a shiny here. The first is by accidentally killing it. The second is by having it fall off the front ledge of the Cove, usually because of a Dunsparce's hitbox, and the third way is for it to fall in the out-of-bounds area behind this wall, either by it running away in a precise direction, or again because of a Dunsparce pushing it off. But believe it or not, there's a solution to all 3 of these problems, some more obvious than others, the most obvious one being accidentally killing it. Having a Pokemon with a good moveset for catching Pokemon is really important. Gallade and Breloom come to mind, though I would probably favor Gallade slightly. Gallade naturally learns Hypnosis, as well as Heal Pulse and Life Dew, so you can manage both your HP and the wild Pokemon's HP. And by TM, it can learn False Swipe to put the Pokemon at 1 HP for the highest chance of success. But at this level, Dunsparce has a double edge, so you'll want to avoid False Swipe as it could kill itself with a recoil. If you want the risk of killing it to be 0, then you can teach Thunder Wave by TM instead of False Swipe. But I personally just use Thunder Wave instead of Hypnosis because it's more accurate. And with about a 50% chance of a successful capture with a regular Pokeball while paralyzed, it's basically impossible to fail this battle in any other way, unless you intentionally struggle it to death. So that's the first way to fail a shiny off the list. So what about the other 2? Is there anything we can do about these? Well, actually, yes. I realized a few days ago, thanks to falling off the ledge, avoiding a Dunsparce, that if a Pokemon falls down here, it doesn't actually despawn. There's a draw distance limit to it, so you won't be able to see it from the Cove, but if you drop down, the vast majority of fallen Pokemon will land on this building, with maybe a few of them that fall on the far right of the platform, falling just next to the building. So that's great news. If a shiny falls down here, we can go ahead and chase it. So that's potential failure number 2 crossed off. But what about this third one? How might we save a shiny that would happen to fall out of bounds? Well, with this knowledge that it falling down wouldn't despawn it, I noticed that they would be chilling on the ceiling out of bounds. It was hard to tell what color they were from this distance, so soon after I found out that we could at least check what color they were from the platform below. Not that this exactly helps at all, because once you get down here you can't get back up without despawning them, and it's too far away to initiate a battle from here. So that's when I reached out to you guys to help me find a solution. We needed to find some way to get out of bounds, get onto the ceiling, and be able to initiate a battle with a Pokemon here, and all of that while not despawning anything in this area in the process. But the odds of there being an out-of-bounds clip in this precise of an area didn't seem too likely, and even if there was one, it seemed unlikely that someone would find it. But what if I told you someone did? An unlikely figure, Bananaguy. So I posted this short about the out-of-bounds conundrum we had here on the 22nd of June, and Bananaguy presumably saw this short and joined my Discord server on the 26th. Thankfully for us, Bananaguy was already practiced in performing out-of-bounds clips all around Paldea, like this one at Inlet Grotto and this one at Colonnade Hollow. And it just so happens he already knew of an out-of-bounds clip in the caves of Area 0. But this was at the top of the cave system, so it wasn't really going to be useful in this case. Nobody had even really really mentioned the desire to find this out of bounds clip in the server yet, but we had our first expert on the job. He was ready to put in the time, the determination, the blood, sweat, and tears required to find a solution. And after a grueling glitch hunting session of 7 minutes, he found one, posting a clip to the Discord server a whopping 9 minutes after he said he would look into it. What a giga chat. It's similar to the inlet grotto clip he was already familiar with, which unfortunately means it's a pretty difficult out of bounds clip. But I wanted to figure out how to do it, not only to potentially save a shiny Pokemon with it, but to also have it documented with a nice capture card recording. To speak about how difficult this clip is, even knowing about its existence beforehand, it took me 20 minutes to actually get it, mostly because I wasn't really trying to find a setup for it. I was just throwing my head against it and see what happened. But I wanted to make sure that you could in fact do it on both ride Pokemon, and in the process stumbled into what the setup would be. So first and foremost, if you suspect you actually have a shiny down there, save your game in the cove. If you have to reload the save, make sure you look down toward that area, as sometimes going from a sandwich to a not sandwich will despawn your shinies. And looking down toward that area will make them respawning more likely. The spot for this clip is just below the entrance of the cove, at the bottom 2 crystals of this triangle of them. You'll want to position the head of your ride Pokemon just to the left of the crystal on the right. You can slide down from above to get in the right spot, then move right on the wall with the crystal stopping you from moving any further. Then you'll want to move up left on the wall, and with the shuffle on the wall moving in the correct angle, it will propel you to the other side of the crystal on the left. And once that happens, you can just jump and you'll be out of bounds. And from here, if you have a Pokemon down here, you can go ahead and battle it. And once again, you can do this on both games. I can't overstate how amazing it is that there's a useful out of bounds clip here, because this now makes the Cove of Dunsparce perhaps the safest location in the game to shiny hunt in, because even if your shiny were to fall out of bounds, you can go and chase after it without it despawning. A massive shout out to Bananaguy. It took him just 7 minutes to become the GOAT. But my friends, that's not the end of this story. I figured while I was down here on my Violet save file, I would do some exploring, see what kind of shenanigans we could get up to while we're out of bounds here. And of course, there was a particular thought that crossed my mind.
Imagine I find a shiny while I'm out of bounds, but I can't get to it.
And it wouldn't take but 30 seconds to turn this hypothetical funny situation into a grim reality.
That's a shiny Dreepy, isn't it? What? Bro, that's a shiny Dreepy. How do I get out of here?
So here I was, out of bounds with a shiny Dreepy below me, with no way to get to it. I desperately started searching for a way to get back in bounds, going to any crystals in the area to see if I could just maybe get myself back in. I tried to get back up to the crystals used for the clip, but you can't climb these walls from the inside. I then frantically checked for just a single spot that was close enough for me to initiate a battle with one of the Pokemon below. I tried saving and reloading the game, hoping I would then maybe be in bounds. Doing all of this with no luck. Roughly 15 minutes went by since I found it, making no real progress on finding a way down. I reached out to Bananaguy to see if he could maybe help me find a way back in bounds, and as he was concocting a solution, I saw it. A Glimmora on the wall. I thought just maybe if I initiated a battle with this Glimmora in the right way, I would be able to be pushed back in bounds. But for this I would need the Dreepy to get closer to it, and very soon he would start flying closer to the wall. And then I realized the floor extended a good bit past the wall in this area, unlike an inlet grotto. Kinda tells you that they were rushing the final areas of the game a little bit. But this little sliver of hope was all I needed. I just needed Dreepy to come close enough to the wall to engage in battle. And eventually Come this way.
Yes! Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Oh my god!
And there you have it. I found a shiny while I was out of bounds, and even though it looked like I wasn't going to be able to catch him, eventually the stars aligned and I was able to do it. Thankfully it was something this mobile. If it was a shiny Dunsparce, then I probably wouldn't have been able to get it. I caught him with a quick ball to match those beautiful yellow ears, and I named him Chet. And it's great that I was able to save him, as this means I can have a living dex form for the entire Dreepy line. But what a wild way to capture a shiny Pokemon. I very much did not expect expect to make this video, but I'm quite happy that I did. Gave me a little bit of a break from this 3-segment Dudunsparce hunt, and that'll probably be the next video whenever that happens. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, consider making a donation or becoming a channel member. Any additional support you guys could give me would be much appreciated. But don't feel bad if you can't. Watching the videos, liking, and subscribing is the best kind of support that you can give me. But I have been Trevor, I go by Trails, and I will see you guys next year when I finally find this 3-segment Dudunsparce.